Hello, behind me is the Aria Tournament Poker Room. I'm back here once again for another $800 daily. Can I make the final table for the third or fourth time this summer? I just want the Aria Ace trophy. Literally all I want, but hoping for a deep run. Good luck us. The poker tournament journey starts right here. We are in the money of an $800 buy-in tournament here at the Aria in Las Vegas, and there is over $90,000 for first place, so lots up for grabs. But we are short stacked here in the money with about 10 big blinds, and here I'm in the hijack with ace-4 offsuit. I'm all in where the big blind makes the call with jack-10 off. He has only 5 big blinds, so everyone's super short stacked. And he ends up hitting a jack on the turn, sadly, and I lose. So chipping down to 88,000, where the very next shuffle, I pick up ace-9 of diamonds. Well, obviously, I'm all in now with about 6 or 5 big blinds in my stack. Then the big blind ends up making the call after a very long tank and says he's going to gamble. And he has 10-8 of hearts, so it's a flip, not one that I want to see, but I end up hitting a straight on the turn and double up myself. So nice to still be alive. I double up someone else the first hand and then double up myself. So we're playing a turbo tournament, so it's going to be a lot of all-ins. Next interesting spot with ace-10 of clubs on the button. The big stack in middle position opens it up to 60,000. If you're confused as much as I am, well, yeah, I don't understand what's happening. That's a 5x raise. Anyways, I have 190,000 at this point in my stack, and I just think this guy's full of it, and there's lots of chips to grab, so I'm just all in. And my opponent is in the blender and tank now. I don't know if he had a plan when he raised 5x. But now it seems like he's trying to figure it out, and I kind of like that he didn't snap call, obviously, because now I think ace-10 is probably the best hand here in this spot. But he ends up folding, so I happily thank him for the free chips. We've got action back to back with the next shuffle, ace-3 of spades in the cutoff. There's an under the gun all-in for 70,000. I think my hand is good enough to rejams because he only had like 5 big blinds, so I'm all in as well, and we're up against queen-7. Didn't expect queen-7 offsuit to be in there, but the flop is 7 high. Turn queen, river, queen for a full house for my opponent. So not going to win this one. Looks like I'm not doing very well in the all-in game here, unfortunately. With the blinds increasing up to 15,000, I've got about 135,000 in my stack, and I pick up ace-king offsuit. There's a low jack all in for 200,000. I call for less, of course. What am I going to do? And we're up against pocket 10s, so I've got to win the classic flip here, and I see a king-high flop. Lovely, and we double up just like that. I'm still short stacked though, so we're not out of the woods yet. I've got about 300,000 chips with the blinds going up to 20,000. With about 53 players left in the tournament, I've got 15 big blinds in the dream and level 20, and I've got pocket jacks in the hijack. Raise it up to 40,000, and I get the big blind to make the call. He's got piles and piles of chips. Looks like he's the chip leader of this tournament. The flop comes king 9-5 rainbow. He checks it over to me, and I have a standard bet, small bet of 25,000, and then he check raises me to 80,000. Pretty interesting dicey spot here. I think my hand is obviously too strong at this point, and I'm giving this opponent a little bit of credit here for check raising with some bluffs. I think with the majority of the players left, I would fold a lot of the time, but happy to battle. I think my opponent is capable of having bluffs, so I make the call. Turn comes an 8, which is not a very good card for me. Now 6-7, one of the bluffs gets there. My opponent fires out 90,000, and at this point, I've just got to let my cards go and fold. You know what time it is. This video is sponsored by WPT Global. Shout out to this lovely bucket hat that I got anyways. Recently, I ended up actually at final tabling at one of the $110 buy-ins, and I got 6th place. Almost won it, but got 6th place for about $600. But friendly reminder that the Summer Festival is still running. There's a bunch of tournaments left to play and plenty of action. And something that I've been personally getting involved in is playing a lot of PLO on the site. So if you're interested in playing some 4 cards and gambling with me, click the link in the description below. You can get a $1,500 deposit bonus if you sign up with my code today, and put in some money. So I'll see you in the virtual felt. The tournament in the Summer's Festival is still going, so feel free to check that out as well. Let's go and win this tournament for the love of Christ. Moving on to level 21 with 40 players left. We've locked up $2,100, and the first shuffle of this level, I pick up ace-6 offsuit in the big blind. Small blind player limps over to me, and I've got 11 big blinds with 300,000 in my stack, so I am all in. My opponent ends up sticking in the call with ace-3 offsuit. So it's ace-6 versus ace-3. We're going to chop a lot of the time. We see an ace on the flop. brick turn, and then the river 6 out of nowhere. Oh my goodness. Very, very sneaky and lucky to double up here, up to over 500,000 chips. In the next hand, with pocket 8s on the button, raise it up to 50,000, and I get the big blind to make the call, who covers me. Now off to a flop, which comes queen 8-7 to spades. Flopping a set, finally picking up some heat. We're going to make a run at this, hopefully. My opponent checks over to me, and I fire out 40,000, another small bet. And my opponent now check raises to 110,000. Okay, before I gave my opponent the ability to have some bluffs, but I don't think this opponent is capable of having any bluffs here, so just putting him on some sort of value holding. And obviously my objective is to try to get as much money in the middle as possible before some sort of scary card comes. So without 440,000 in my stack, I decided to not go all in, and I just min click it to 175. Well, looks like my opponent took the bait. He goes all in, and of course I snap call with my set, and oh my goodness, my opponent has pocket aces. So that is pretty lucky for me to hit an 8, and I fade the 2 other aces in the deck when we're all in, and I double up over 1 million chips after coolering pocket aces. To be honest, I think my opponent actually played this hand really well, and unlucky that I hit a set. But yeah, over 1 million chips in play, but doesn't mean for much, as the big blinds are going to go up to 30,000 now, and I pick up ace-6 of spades on the small blind. Action folds around to the button here, and he raises to 60,000 off of about 16 big blinds. So ace-6 suited, definitely going to be all in. Seems pretty standard here, and my opponent has a hand to call for his tournament life. He has pocket 9s. So hey, still have some equity, still have some life, but sadly going to lose this all in. Pocket 9s will hold, I double them up, and yeah, I now lose half of my stack, pretty much. So we've got some work to do as blinds have increased now up to 40,000. I've got 400,000 in my stack. If you can do that math, it's not a lot of big blinds. So with 21 players left, we've secured a pay jump of $4,100. So at least I've locked up some money here in this tournament. But here at this point, I pick up ace-jack offsuit down to about 200,000 chips, 5 big blinds and a dream. I'm all in, of course. The button reshoves her stack, and we're up against pocket 9. So we've got a flip here. Definitely have a good chance at winning, but will not improve here. Down, I'm eliminated in 18th place in this tournament. Locking up a $4,100 payday, not too bad. 5x the tournament buy-in, but not going to be taking down that $91,000 for first place. Unlucky here. All right, sadly, no Aria ace trophy for me. Didn't make the FT this time, but at least still ran deep. Ended up getting 17th for $5,159, and I got some pay jumps, so happy with it, and always a successful day. I'll happily take it in this $800 daily.